Hey Hayden, what's going on?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. I love y'all setup. It was the totodile on the
Mm.
side, the
Oh
candle.
yeah. Yep, he's winking, but I'm not gonna turn him too much closer to the flame.
Oh yeah,
And then just a little bit of Satan.
yeah.
It's
I
fine.
saw that, and then you have what is it from? Well, I'm drawing a
This
blank. I am
th-
drawing a blank
this
on.
is this is Helsing.
I wanted to say Vampire Hunter D because I've been talking about that to people so many times. Recently, we've been talking about Vampire Hunter D. I don't know why, and I'm like, that is
They
not.
do
That is not
they
Vampire
do
Hunter D.
happen to they do hunt a lot of vampires though.
Yeah, they love the vampire, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's sick. Thank you for joining me for
Mm-hmm.
both of these podcasts, where both of these nerds discuss anime cons, anime history. I'm here with
Yeah.
their handle, Misbehayden, and I'm your host, Local Himbo, Zuko-sama, or Ryan, whichever. So thank you for joining me today.
Awesome. Totally happy to be here though.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I know last time we actually saw each other IRL, it was
Mm-hmm.
AAC like a few weeks
Mm-hmm.
ago, and I know
Oh
for
yeah.
AAC you run the Who Done It game.
Yes.
So yeah, go
I
ahead.
run Whodunit and I was assisting on dating game and deathmatch this year.
Oh yeah, I remember getting all your emails for everything.
Oh yeah.
Uh, I was. It was actually really funny when I was getting all your emails. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
did this? What's this one for again? Is this for? No, that's deathmatch. Okay, no wait, no, that's
Yep.
dating game. Wait a minute. I noticed y'all were helping out with that. So how'd you even get to the point of being able to run a game at AAC?
Well, I started staffing at PortCon a couple years before I came to AAC.
Okay,
Um, I was supposed to start at PortCon actually pre-pandemic. But then, things started getting shut down.
of course,
Um,
unfortunately.
but the at the time my friend Snow was in charge of things for the cosplay department. Um, and they were looking to take on some more people, and so, they put out applications. And I decided, why not? Why not try? Because I had dreams at the time of
At the
staffing at
time,
Anime Boston.
at the time.
Yeah, because it's very specifically Anime Boston, and things over on that front are weird last couple years. So, eh.
Oh hell
But
yeah.
at the time, I
Let's.
really wanted to get into staffing cosplay games at Anime Boston.
Hell yeah.
And I'm like, I should probably start at a smaller con.
Right.
So I'm like, this con is not only smaller, it's run by a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good place to start.
Yeah, of course. Like I said, I
Um,
went to PortCon for the first time this past summer with the
mhm,
crew I'm with, and we actually all really enjoyed going to PortCon.
mhm. Oh, it's a really good time.
Mm.
Um, and so part of the, excuse me, application was to submit an idea for a cosplay game, like a fresh new one.
Right.
And I had the idea of whodunit floating around in the back of my head for some time.
Right.
But I hadn't just committed the time to like writing it out.
All right.
So I g- wrote a quick explanation, sent off the application. Didn't hear anything on it for a bit, but then I got the message from Snow saying, "Hey, would you like to officially join the team?" I'm like, "Oh, sure, I'd love that. I'm so excited."
Awesome. Really quick for those who don't know, can you explain a little bit about what Whodunit is?
Whodunit is basically an adaptation of the game Clue, like the board
Yep.
game, into a stage show. Like it has a lot of the guts and the mechanics of Clue,
Mm-hmm.
but I've made it so that the people playing and the people giving out the information are separate people. So it's not just a bunch of people at a table talking to like just to each other.
Yeah.
Um, and this it basically you've got your three investigators who get to ask the suspects questions, and the suspects are a random smattering of cosplayers. So you've got you end up with some pretty wacky scenarios that end up panning out in these games.
Yes. I know this last
Both
one. You're.
from stuff that is
Yeah.
like,
I'm sorry. You can go ahead.
oh yeah, both from stuff that I plan that I work in
Mm-hmm.
like beforehand, and stuff that the cosplayers are improving in the moment that I have no hand, like, okay, I have some hand in like kind of setting them up to talk to each other,
Right.
but um it's the stuff that comes off the cuff can be sometimes hilarious even more hilarious than I could ever hope to plan.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I was gonna say, like, I noticed the last times past AAC, your investigators were an interesting group of, I believe, an Attack on Titan cosplayer.
Hmm.
Was it?
Hanji Zoe,
Yeah, and then it was, who was the other two as well?
Farina from Genshin, and Joker from
That's
Persona
it.
5.
It's like I only do two, but the third one, I'm like, "Ah, okay, I think that's either a Genshin Impact or one of those Honkai Star Rails." So
Hmm.
I wasn't sure.
But yeah, PortCon decided to take me on. We had our first meeting, and I'm sitting there like, I'm probably gonna be an assistant, work my way up,
Mhm.
kind of how this stuff goes, I imagine. And then we have our first meeting, and Snow introduces me. It's like, everybody, this is Hayden. Now, Hayden, why don't you go ahead and just explain the event you'll be running? And I'm like, I'm gonna be doing what now?
It's like, thought I was gonna, like, give you little tips. No, they were just like, yay. So, like, how you how
I
you doing
got
this?
thrown in the deep end.
That's awesome
Um,
though.
but I made it work, and they started inviting me back. I became a more permanent member of staff.
Hmm.
Been having a really great time over there. And now I'm doing it over at AAC,
Nice. Yep.
which I am also having a blast with. Yeah, when basically, bless the woman, but she is insane. She was running all of AAC games by herself,
Hmm. I
and
mean,
I
I
found
know
out
she has definitely been doing a lot of that stuff for a while.
I
I've
found
heard things. It's just like, yeah, she just run that whole thing. I'm like, damn, how can one person do all that? That's wild.
I, I found this out while I was actually over her place, because she hosts game nights, and we were over. I had a couple of drinks, and I found out she was doing it all herself, and I was just shocked. And I just reached over, put my hand on her shoulder, and I'm like, Sarah, please let me help you.
That's good.
And
I guess
apparently,
I gave her the courage. I'm like, if you just, hey, please, you don't do all this on your own.
she said that, yeah, my therapist has been saying I need to accept help, so. And I'm like, yes, good. We listened to our therapist.
Hell yeah.
Um, and that prompted her to, make the little department now. That's myself, Kirk, Jason, and Victor.
Yep. Yeah, this year was
And
really
yeah,
good. This
we've.
really fun. This year was really fun with a lot. I think this is the most events like I've been to. Like when
Mhm.
going to AAC, like a lot of the times, I'm like, maybe go to this, maybe go to that. Like I know they eliminated the regular dating plus game. Yeah, that's a word.
Mhm.
A dating game, and just said we're just doing 18 plus, 5 rounds of it. Solid five
Mhm.
rounds, really good time.
Oh
Again,
yeah.
of course, we were there
Yeah.
for Who Done It, as well as
Mhm.
lip sync battle and cosplay chess. And I was like, damn, I'm
Mhm.
doing, and that, like, not gonna lie, that dictated what I was gonna cosplay those days. And I'm like, this is great because, like, all right, I know what
That's
I
how
want to
I've
bring.
always done it.
Yeah, I know what I want to bring,
Mhm.
and then I applied for these games, and then it's just like, oh, well, we'll see what days that is. I can always bring that up, so it was perfect.
Mhm. Oh yeah, we were pretty flexible. We were able to work around people.
Hmm.
Like, um, you know, I had one performer for, I think, deathmatch, where they had their masquerade judging, like, in between the time we asked people to show up
Yeah.
and
Oh,
start. So they're
jeez.
like, "Can I come in, check in, then go do that and come back?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you told me in advance. I know what you're doing.
I know where
As
you're
long as you
at.
get back in time, we're good."
Sounds great. Yeah,
And
no,
yeah,
exactly.
they
Just
were
that
back with
communication just
more
really
than enough.
helps. That
Oh
communication
yeah.
definitely helps because then you're like, yeah, just let me know. And I feel like that's
Mhm.
something that anyone's listening about being in games is, please, when you're in a game, like I imagine, just communicate with the hosts, email them, message them,
Mhm.
right?
Oh yeah. God, I had one contestant this year, bless her heart, was messaging me constantly. I like, very, first timer, has a lot of questions. I'm fine with
Oh,
it.
great.
And it was comical the amount of times where my phone would go off and I'm like, "Oh, I bet I know who that is."
Well, that's good. That's,
Um,
at least they try. Like I am, I'm nervous, so I'm just trying to reach out and figure out what's going on.
oh yeah. Especially, considering during the performance, there was one performer who didn't seem to fully get it and was struggling a bit with the improv, and
Hmm.
unfortunately I can't stop the show and be like, "Hey, you're having a hard time," and just call attention to it. So I was just kind of like, Oh, I'm so sorry, friend.
But like,
But
that's where the veterans come in and be like, you got this, kid. Don't worry. Just
yeah,
you'll be
yeah, I
fine.
got
You'll be
help
fine, kid.
with Whodunit still being new at AAC.
Yeah.
I'm not like too bothered. Um, like I really want to get a recording done of it one of these times, and then I can send that recording out to people,
Hmm.
being like, "This is how the show runs."
Okay.
Yeah, like,
That'd be a good idea.
it's
That'd be a really good
just,
idea, though. Just be like just
yeah,
the
it's just
basic, like bare
I
bones.
keep
Yeah.
in the moment forgetting to like lock down someone to record,
Hmm.
like because the cons I'm running it as they're recording. I don't know where the recording goes.
Yeah. Right.
I have not yet received one of the recordings,
Right. Just like somebody's doing. I thought I saw a guy with a camera. I don't know.
which is frustrating because I really want to show my mother the
Hmm.
game
Yeah.
because two factors. She's immunocompromised, can't really do cons.
Hmm.
And two, um the game is partially inspired by her.
Oh, really?
Um
How so?
yeah. Um as I said, I had the idea of whodunit floating around in my head for some time before I actually put pen to paper.
Right.
And that was because my mom, when she was young, acted a lot in theater.
Oh, cool.
And one of the things she specifically did was murder mystery dinners.
Oh, that's sick. No way. I've never
Hmm.
been to one of those. I always wanted to try that out, but I feel like I'm too dumb, so I just make Shelby answer all the questions. I just like, just give me the
Right?
answer. Just give me the answer. Come on, I don't know. I'll just
Um,
talk like I
and
know
so
what's
she,
going on.
so she would act in these improv murder mysteries,
Hmm.
at over a dinner, and I'm like, how could I make this cosplay? And so I ended up taking the mechanics of Clue and basically making a sit-down murder mystery show for conventions.
That's fantastic. That's really cool.
Um,
I didn't know that was your inspiration for doing all that.
mhm. Oh, I mean, I love the board game Clue to begin with.
Yeah.
I used to have the mobile version on my phone. I won't lie.
Yeah.
Uh, Hasbro put out an official Clue app.
Who's your
Um,
favorite character?
I usually play as Madam Peacock.
Matt Peacock. Hell
There's
yeah.
not there's If there was non-binary options, I'd probably play as that, but no, all the characters are, you know, mostly old people.
Yeah, right. It was funny. I was hanging out with was it Blondie Sunday, Ashtray, and Purple
Mm-hmm.
Slime. We were all hanging out for Halloween, and Ash
Mm-hmm.
and Ashtray goes, "I've never seen the Clue movie," and we're like, "Okay, we're gonna watch that because this is a really good movie." While all three of us are all obsessed with that movie, so it's just like this is
Mm-hmm.
awesome. They're like, "Are they gonna
That's
do all the
great.
three endings?" I don't know. Which ending do you like better? And we were all just like discussing which one we like the most.
Mm-hmm.
Because God, Tim Curry in that movie and all the actors are so good.
Mm. But
um,
yeah,
yeah,
I was just saying, like, whodunit's always like been like my thing because I kind of wrote it.
yeah,
Um, but getting to help run the other events now has actually been a lot of fun as well.
yeah,
Um, like at PortCon, I would kind of help. Uh, like I would help do the bracket and whatnot. Like I'd sit there and keep track of it,
mhm.
writing it down like as the game would progress, so that and then you know Goggle would be up on stage announcing things, and I'm just like, "This is the next person. Here you go."
Help move along, help like keep the things going, so we know where everyone
Yep.
knows where everybody at. Yeah,
So we know which the next round is. So it's not can we have group 1 and group 2, whoever you are, come
yeah.
back because I've lost track of which round it is,
Yes, and
kind of deal.
who what we've already said, what we've already who we already accused. It's like, yeah, no, no, we said that already.
Yep.
I've noticed that like there's a lot of pieces to like take care of and like see where everything's going, so someone figures it out. That's why sometimes like
Oh yeah.
when on the application it's like, do you want to be an asker? I'm like, no, because I would never figure this out.
That's one of the reasons that I actually have someone else host it and I sit off to the side.
Hmm.
Is so that I can actually sit and keep track of where we are in the game.
Yeah,
We actually at AC came, as we noted, very close to people coming like close to the answer
yeah.
very early.
Oh,
Um,
jeez.
I imagine if someone looked at me in a moment, my eyes were probably bugging out of my head as I realized the
Like, oh shit,
long
someone guessed
to
it.
summarize. One of the mechanics that I added to the game to make it more suitable for stage, because the investigators can't really be given their answers in secret. Everyone's getting the answers all at the same time.
Yeah.
I added the red herrings, which is, what it sounds like. It's pieces of data that no one can contradict, but are not the answers.
Right.
This is just so if investigator 2, sweeps through, no one's able to disprove, investigator 3 can't just steal the win from the person who actually figured it out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, while still keeping in the whole accusation mechanic to begin with.
Yeah, because then there's just a little bit more there to be like, well, you can't be like, well, I got that information. It's like, well, time to solve the puzzle.
Yep.
Thanks for clearing that out. I see one person. I see one murder weapon. I see one reason. It's like, thanks.
Exactly.
Sucker. Like, yeah, no, I get that. So that's a really good idea, though. Like a constantly evolving game. I do have a weird question. So, how do you see an application for like joining an anime game? Do you like there's like anime concept like LinkedIn's or something? Oh, there's an Indeed for game show. Oh, let me try that out. How does that even how does it even happen? It's one thing I've never known about. Like, is it like how do y'all get access to that?
To get into games in general, or to get into running games?
Like staffing. Like I see earlier y'all were saying
staffing.
Yeah, like it was just like, hey, they put out a want ad for staffing. I'm like Indeed, you want to see my LinkedIn profile? So like
gotcha.
Reverend Ryan, that's me. Hey.
Basically, a lot of cons they have like volunteer forms that you can fill out. Volunteering and staffing are very similar, but it's just the amount of like responsibility they're going to give you.
Okay.
And it's going to differ from con to con. AAC, like, I don't know if it's just our department or what. They are very great to work with.
Okay. Shouts out, man. Everybody in this podcast who's ever been on here loves AAC, and that's like the best part. Everyone's like, AAC is fucking based.
They are very, very good at acknowledging the fact that at least our department, we do most of our work before the con, setting up these games, and then we execute them. We're not expected, for example, to do really busy work anywhere as a result. Like, they're just like, you've already done your work. You don't need to, like, put in 30 hours to be considered staff and whatnot, yada yada.
Nice.
Because that's usually the requirement in order to get, like, staff benefits and staff rewards, is they usually ask you to work 20, 30 hours. It depends on the con and the level of staffing. But yeah,
because I was always intrigued because like for podcast sake, like anyone who's willing to volunteer at a convention or like staff a convention, like you said, like what's their best way of like finding ways to be a part of something like that?
Most cons will always be taking volunteers. And you can kind of get your foot in the door that way. And the other way would be knowing staffers who can give you a recommendation. Because I actually, after working both PortCon and AAC, I help moderate and run a unofficial off-season staff Discord for PortCon staff.
Oh, cool.
So it's not affiliated with the con. It's just for staffers by staffers.
Yeah, just to kind of chill.
But me talking about the good time I had staffing AAC in there, I actually had, I think, 3 people apply to AAC as a result, and they all put me down as a reference.
Oh, nice.
They're like, yeah, no, Hayden told us about this, and a couple of them are AAC staffers now, so that's always fun.
Oh, that's great. That's good to hear.
Oh my goodness.
So I know we were talking about earlier, especially now we got into a lot of cosplay games. We didn't want to get into it earlier, but you were telling me about Anime Boston. I know we mentioned it earlier. We were talking about a specific story about deathmatch and having like multiple people in a team.
Yeah. It is infamously known as the harem year. But it was Anime Boston Deathmatch 2017.
Okay.
I was in it as Ceres Victoria. And I was specifically doing the yellow outfit.
Ceres from Vampire Hunter D, correct?
Yes. this lovely piece of work right here.
Yeah. No, I'm kidding. I'm from
Helsinki. And I was really excited because this is not only my first deathmatch at Anime Boston, It was also the first time I had one of my cannons with me.
Oh, sick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and me at 5 foot nothing. That gun was 5 foot 7 inches long, if I
Oh,
remember.
Jesus.
Yep. So that was fun. My first round, I went up against Nagisa from Assassination Classroom.
Mm-hmm. Wow, talk about
Only
throwback. Jeez.
only that they were doing like an alternate outfit from the end of the manga.
Mm-hmm.
And it was also there for I have done death matches before, but it was their first death like event period.
Oh,
So I
wow.
was talking with them and I was like, yeah, like, I had done a death match at AAC prior, I think. And they were so nervous. They're like, I don't know if anyone's gonna
Oh.
know who I am because like it's not something that everyone's seen
Mm-hmm.
yet. And I'm like, well, to be fair, you're from a much newer anime than I am, because Helsing.
Yeah. I was like, actually.
Yeah, so I was, just kind of being like, I don't think you're about as down and out as you think.
Yeah.
And we went up on stage. They did the cheering, and we were actually tied. Um, I was not prepared for this outcome. Um, and the host comes over and he's like, "Oh, okay. Well, we're tied. Do you want to dance?" The answer I should have said was no, but the people pleaser in me was very active, and I nodded, and
I love that. Just and your brain is probably like, no, no.
yep. The host went over, checked in with the other cosplayer, and I was hoping to God that they said no. They they did not. Nagisa said yes.
You just see them go.
Um,
You're like, oh, I guess
I
we're doing this.
basically, and I was standing there with my big ass gun, thinking, I need to incorporate this somehow because if I just put this gun down, that's just gonna be a bit of a letdown.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, 'cause
like
people love that freaking cannon, dude. It's like
people
one
love
of
the
the things.
cannon,
Yeah.
and I just did the only thing I could think of in that moment is I hiked one leg up around the cannon and did some very exaggerated fake pole dancing on it.
Hell yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it was not good.
Hey,
It's not good.
it worked out though,
But
right?
it was exaggerated fake pole dancing.
Yeah, I mean,
That did end up working out.
I mean, the worst thing that could have happened was, you put it down, you put your leg on, and then you just go, oh no.
See, I had the common sense to know not to actually try to put my weight on something that's not anchored.
Yeah.
But yeah, then the host came back on. He's like, okay, everybody, remember, vote on just the dancing. Because that's how it's supposed to happen when you do a dance-off.
Right.
And let's say the thirsty men in the audience pulled through for me. There was a notable difference in the cheering. That gave me the win by a landslide. And then, high off of the rush of that, I go back downstairs to offstage, where I see our buddy Monkey Fu in full Alucard.
Nice.
And
Nice.
His full Alucard and his staff sash, and he just, comes, police girl. And my voice has dropped since, so I can't do my Saris impression quite the same way.
Mm.
But I piped back with, my master!
Mm.
And he's like, the voice, you have the voice.
Fantastic.
Pulls me aside and basically says, you know how death matches work. You're more than likely going to die. So I would like to do something a little special, because we were Saris and Alucard.
Of course.
And so he basically said, if I were to die, rather than the zombies coming to get me, he would.
Oh, nice.
And we agreed, so that I wouldn't have to just, depending on the combat, I wouldn't have to, make sure I die. If I refuse to fight,
yes,
for whatever reason, he would come on stage, drag me off by my ear, stage combat, all that, and proclaim to the world how I'm a terrible vampire. However, if I were to die, I could pick you up and carry you off. And I'm like, yeah, cool. I was so on board with that. And then I didn't die. Yeah, that's the hard part.
It's like, we got this. Okay, it's not working out as well as we'd like it to. Okay, we'll figure
So
this out.
I went down and sat back with the contestants and saw what my second round would be. My second round was the first team up that happened in the first round.
And
this team up was Honey Senpai from All Around High School Host Club and Sakura from Cardcaptor Sakura.
Okay. That's a team up.
It was very much just the cute team up.
Yeah.
And also, Honey had a bouquet of fake flowers and gave one to Sakura. And the audience ate that up. They demanded the team up immediately.
Nice.
So I sat down next to them and I'm like, yeah, I'm probably not gonna beat you guys just because the combined cute factor. It's cool. I've got kind of a plan. But wouldn't it be funny if we also teamed up?
Oh my god.
I was joking. And then we went on stage. Cheering happens. The cheer for the pair happens first, and it is massive. To the point where the host actively comes over, puts his hand on my shoulder, and I do a exaggerated.
Yep.
I lost. I'm sulking. Kind of nonsense. And while I'm doing that, playing into the moment, Honey Senpai takes a flower and runs over and gives it to me. And of course, I play into it. I'm like, oh my goodness, okay, thank you. Head pat. And, pretend to swoon over it and whatnot. And the audience changes their mind. They start chanting team up again. Because the host has no self-control, he allows it.
Oh, hell yeah. Let's go.
Yeah, so now it is a 20-something-year-old vampire cop and then a high schooler and a middle schooler. And the three of us scamper off.
There's flowers, there's giant cannons, there's all kinds of good stuff happening.
I love my cannons in my shoujo anime. And what ends up happening? So the three of us now go backstage, and we're all excited, having fun. Like, oh my god, did that just really happen?
Yeah.
Kind of deal. And we see our next round, and we think, okay, they can't do it again. They surely can't do it again, because our next enemy is a monster. It's a fursuit monster of Gleam Eyes, who is apparently from Sword Art Online.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a boss that apparently, I think I was told that it kills Kirito, which is cool. I'm fine with killing Kirito.
The Black Swordsman?
And we're like, yeah, they're not gonna team us up again. We're probably gonna just kill this monster. No big deal. We don't even finish getting on stage before the team up chant starts.
Oh my god. People are wildin'.
Yeah. They gave us a monster. And the host at least made them trade their dance off for it. So
just for a visual, what was the host cosplaying? Or were they just a host?
Seto Kaiba.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Seto Kaiba from Yu-Gi-Oh!
Seto Kaiba just oh yes, perfect. You guys together. Let's go.
Yeah. It was Seto Kaiba was making monsters. And what ended up, so I think our next round was, there was actually one other team up that happened in this death match that had nothing to do with us.
Okay.
But it was the team up of all team ups that I'm so glad it happened. I need to see it again.
Okay.
My lovely other half, Goggle Candy, got
shouts out
as Pegasus, got teamed up with Jesse James and puppeteers of
Meowth,
Coughing, and Ekans.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep. So the three of that just Team Rocket and Pegasus.
It's like Saturday morning,
so good.
Saturday morning cartoon action right there.
Yep.
versus what is it? Guns, Flowers, and Monsters.
Yep.
That sounds like
I
a
was
cool band name. I'll
actually
take it.
yeah. I was actually a deathmatch promo image one year, and it was from this fight.
Nice.
Because you can see, like, I'm throwing a nice, right hook into James, and James is selling it.
Hell yeah.
Like, that wig was fanned out from how hard he was, throwing his head back. It was so good. You could also see Goggle under. He made a giant playing card of a trap card, and he's hiding under it. Just as I am wrecking James's
just
shit.
Hard right hand, just counter hook, just yeah.
It was good.
Love it.
But yeah, at this point, I think the host started wising up and said no more team ups.
Right.
Because he's like, that's enough. Like, you traded your dance off, you're done.
You got 2 team ups already, guys. We have 2 teams.
Yep. Because then we made it to we took out Pegasus and Team Rocket. Unfortunately, they were great. And then the final round was us against a Attack on Titan group. It was Hanji, I think, an Irwin, and then a cleaning Levi specifically.
Oh yeah, the one with the
so the other
bandanas.
2 were in the full regular. Yeah, the other 2 were in the regular suits, and then there was cleaning Levi.
Nice. It's a good way of separating them, having a little bit of difference. Fantastic.
And we ended up winning that final round, which partially, partially because there was no time to plan. We just kind of ended up walking over and just being like nice. People were like, oh, so like we won, so like hugs, sportsmanship kind of stuff. But Levi wanted none of that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know them personally, and but they looked at me like I smelt of the game room. Yeah, that was some stink eye. Yeah. I was just like,
smelled like the old anime Boston rave of 2012.
And I was just like, damn, what is your issue? Like, I know we just won and beat you, but like, shit.
That's day problem.
I didn't let it ruin my day. I was just like, that's weird. Okay, bye, I guess.
Yeah, you hit him with the, all right, cool, be mad. Hey, look over here, friendship and happiness.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was such a crazy experience. I remember walking away like, did that really happen?
That's awesome, though.
But, yeah. We did end up winning a trophy for it, but it went home with Honey Senpai because
they kind of initiated the whole
basically that was my and Sakura's point. Gleam Eyes had actually already left us at this point because they were dying in that suit.
They were like,
because they were not they were not expecting to be on stage that long.
That's awesome.
Them and their handler was like, "Had fun, guys. We gotta go." And I'm like, "Go take care of yourself."
I'm gonna walk 30 minutes to our hotel room so we can cool off.
So yeah, if you're ever at a big stage show with furries and you see them like, oh, I wish this person was on stage more, they're probably melting. So yeah, we try to not put the furries on under the lights too much.
That's fair. Hey, they decide to wear it, so they want to show off their stuff. If it's good, then people are gonna see even longer. It's just how it may be.
Oh my god, yeah. It's like our buddy Ken, their wig for their Buddha cosplay was immaculate. I had to put that on stage.
I love that.
It's so good. I need to bug them to see who they commissioned for it.
I actually know who. I'll tell you after. Well, I don't. Well,
sure, that's
great.
I
do. I don't know if I wanted to give them a shout out, but they I think they do commission wigs. But at the same time, I think I just might give the wrong name, so we'll just go from there.
That's fair.
I think I might reach out to them and see. We'll go from there. But yeah.
But yeah,
I actually met them.
The harem.
I didn't know it was them. I was like, oh shit, you're the one who commissioned that wig. I met them at AAC, and I was like, oh sick, you great work. But you were saying the harem.
That was the year of the harem, and that is why Anime Boston is now strict and says they usually only allow one team up per deathmatch.
All right, just have 2 people come together. That's about it.
That's it. No more.
What would you say?
No more polyamorous shenanigans.
Yeah, right. What would you say is one of your favorite cosplays that you like to put on? Like, is Sarah's like your more famous, like your more popular one that you enjoy, or Like, which one do you
Uh, sh-
like for show, and which one do you like for like relaxing? You know what I'm saying? Because there's like two. There's to me, there's two types of cosplays.
oh yeah. The best cosplay I have for show would definitely be Shippo.
Oh my
Um,
god, I forgot about your Shippo. It's so amazing with the huge fucking tail.
I have been parsing bringing it back. I just need to do some adjustments and some repairs.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Let me know
but
to maybe put a
I
fire under my ass to be fucking what's his name? Goddamn. I mean, now I have the fucking ponytail. I mean, that might work.
oh yeah.
What's it? Koga? Because I've been meaning to do that guy for like
Mm,
ever.
that'd be
A little
great.
bit more swole now,
Yeah.
so it'd be better for me.
Yeah, the kicker is with Shippo is I sewed that cosplay mostly by hand because I didn't know how to use a machine.
Really? That huge fucking tail
Mhm.
y'all sewn by hand?
Yes, the tail is especially sewn by hand because I was afraid of getting the fur in my machine.
Uh,
I now know a method to how to sew faux fur with a machine, but
Holy
I at the
shit.
time I didn't. So I patterned that all by hand and just figured it out
W-
as I went.
Wow, because last time I was in MMA Boston, y'all had that on.
Mm-hmm.
I remember
Mm-hmm.
being pretty fucking tall and pretty fucking wide.
It's thick.
And then I know you can actually lay on it too. Your son's like, just
Oh
like,
yeah. I'd probably put some more stuffing in it
mm,
too, because he's gotten a little soft. Um, but my favorite part of my Shippo cosplay, it's close. The paws are a close second because I got those custom made.
oh, nice.
Um, yeah, but the tail had a hidden pocket in it.
Okay.
So basically, how I made it was the tail sits pretty close to the back,
Mm-hmm.
but it's the bottom you can kind of pull back a bit. And so I cut a slit down the back
Mm-hmm.
and then stitched a pillowcase to the hole.
All right.
And so that basically made a lined pocket.
That's
And so
fantastic.
yeah, I because Shippo, he's this little trickster fox demon, I wanted to have a bit of a gag with that. So what I would do is I would magic things out of nowhere by
Yeah.
pulling them out from the pocket because the pocket would also, due to the weight of the tail, naturally want to stay close to my back. And so
Mm-hmm.
most people couldn't see
Yeah.
that there was a hole that I was pulling things out of.
That's
So
awesome.
it was especially great when I was doing death matches and whatnot, because if I want to pull out a prop, I just pop it right there and then
There you
it's coming
go.
out of nowhere. Um, I think my favorite use of that was I pulled out a can of Got to Be to fight Rick Sanchez because his hair is a mess.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah, I of course didn't actually spray a
Of
huge cloud of
course.
hairspray, but I pretended to, and he was like, "No, my hair." It was great.
That's man,
Uh,
and it's funny because I think about because like if we'll probably have photos and all that posted on
mhm,
here. Is that you think of the size of a fucking pillowcase, the amount, and like for that to be hidden and how big that tail is just like
mhm.
yeah, y'all have a lot of room.
Oh yeah, actually, before I ever created my own TikTok and started posting,
Yeah.
I was on a friend's TikTok. Um, it was because I soft launched Shippo the Katsucon before that.
Hmm.
Like I hadn't finished painting my kimono, so the kimono is just blue.
Yeah.
But everything else was there. Um, I got I ran into half of an Inuyasha group that was on their way to a photo shoot, and they're like, "Oh, our Shippo couldn't make it. Do you want to come with us?"
That's awesome. Getting adopted by another group. I fucking love anime conventions and
But
that.
yeah, I was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing anything. Let me come with you." And I joined them for a photo shoot. Um, and while we were talking, the Sango was absolutely like taken with my tail to the point where she filmed a TikTok of let's see everything we can find inside Shippo's tail, and then had me pull out all of the stuff I had shoved in there.
That's
I
awesome.
had snacks, I had drinks, I had props, I had my badge, I had my wallet, you know, the whole nine yards. Because I very much like to be over prepared than under.
Oh, same.
Um,
No, that when it comes to conventions, I have my must-haves just to make
mhm.
sure because you gonna
I
need your
always
stuff.
forget something, but I'm trying.
What is
Um,
like what are some of your must-haves if you don't mind me asking? Like me, like you have our usual things, but like I always tell
Mhm.
everybody, like you got your usual energy drinks. Like I like this
Mhm.
water bottle that I keep drinking out of,
Mhm.
specifically has a filter in it, so I always change it. So
Oh.
what happens is so you just fill up in the sink,
Mhm.
and then you just drink right, and
Oh
you always
yeah.
have water.
That's
But
nice.
but like, what is something that you need to always bring? Like that's one. If I can,
Mhm.
if I had to pick one thing like that, because water and like trying to survive
I usually
dehydration.
need I usually need to bring my full wig styling kit
Okay.
because 9 times out of 10, the second I put the wig on my head, I will notice something I missed
Right.
that I will then have to correct because otherwise it's going to drive me bonkers.
Hmm.
I'm a little bit of a perfectionist with my cosplays. Like,
No,
um,
it's fine. It's a good thing.
yeah, especially like, because I only really direct that energy towards myself, of course. Everyone else can be as lazy with their cosplays as they want, but
Yeah.
not me.
Yeah.
Um, and let's see. So my wig stuff, my heating pad has been a newer addition to my con gear.
That's a really fucking good idea.
Mhm.
Because I started bringing either what is it? I have one of, I think it's actually over there. I just have one of those like really hard balls, and
Mhm.
then I put it down, and I roll my feet with it, because it's
Mhm.
just like, oh god, this feels so good. I'm dying and I'm old.
Oh yeah, especially if I've been walking around in like cosplay shoes and not shoes.
Hmm.
Some cosplays, like I've got regular shoes that work just fine for them, and then other ones I have to wear those dumb little schoolgirl
Yeah.
shoes that have no padding.
But a heating pad, I never
Mhm.
thought of bringing that. That's actually, and like something like that, it's super easy. Just kind of just roll up, throw it in
Yeah.
the back, and then
D-
you just plug it in.
mhm. Yeah, it's been huge on, especially if it's a con where they do expect me to do more of the busy work, where
Hmm.
I like maybe they'll have me sit and man a table and answer questions about
Yeah.
cos games kind of deal. Like
Yeah.
they'll ask me to do that at PortCon and whatnot.
Hmm.
So if I'm like sitting in an uncomfortable chair for a while, being able to go back to my room and throw on my heating pad is for a bit is perfect.
That's a yeah.
Um.
It's funny because my biggest thing is my adult version of what I need to bring is like, okay,
Mhm.
my energy drink of choice is always fucking Monster Rehabs. I got McKenna on
Mhm.
that because not only is it
Mm.
energy, it also has electrolytes, so I'm not dying. If
Exactly.
you notice, a lot of my stuff is like, oh, I gotta make sure my hydration is fine. I gotta make sure because the second I start getting thirsty, I'm like, nobody fucking talk to me. I don't care if I'm your favorite anime character. Don't talk to me.
I feel that, yeah. Only my kicker is I've got pots, and so I am always pounding electrolyte drinks because that's
Hmm.
one of the big things is they want you to have salt and water
Yep,
because
retaining fluid.
your body doesn't use your blood correctly. We'll get you more blood.
Yeah.
So basically, I have so many weird ways of framing pots and my other conditions. I will
Mm.
never explain this stuff in a normal way because it's not normal.
Yeah, and it's better if you can explain it where people can understand it better. Then it's even better that way.
Mhm.
Believe me, like sometimes when it comes to telling people medical things, they're just like, I don't know what any of that means. I'm like, all right, let me break it down a little bit, and it's a
Yep.
lot easier if you can explain it in layman's terms because it's
Exactly.
people can just be like, okay, that makes sense, and they're a little bit more understand, like a better understand, but being like, oh, that's what that is, okay, so.
Yeah. My body's just a bit lazy with moving my blood when it needs
Mhm.
to.
So you just want to keep yourself hydrated so it keeps the blood flowing. No, I get that.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's funny because like, from like work for, like I said, my perspective is like
Mhm.
I'm so used to like doing a lot of like being on my feet a lot, doing like manual labor, working out. So I'm like, my body hurts. Like, as long as I have energy, I can keep moving. As long as I'm hydrated,
Mhm.
I can keep moving. But having luxuries like that, like a fucking heating
Mhm.
pad, I'm like, that's a fucking game changer. Why didn't I think of that?
Right. Yeah. I would like to be able to bring like more pillows to a con, but that's just like a pain in the ass to just cart in and out of the hotel.
Yep,
I think I just need to get the habit of asking for more pillows when I get to hotels.
I usually
But
do. Or
mhm.
sometimes I'll make it either I bring a stuffy or like I make it a mission to buy one.
That's a kicker. It's like also like to usually come away from a con with a plushie.
Yeah.
This one was my AAC pickup.
Oh,
Um,
actually,
yeah, that's why he was camping on. That's why he was camping on the table at
this one was
AAC is because
mine.
that's where I got him. That's
It's a
awesome. He's a
donut.
donut.
Yeah.
That's great.
It was terrible because I was carrying him around. His name's Ace
Mm-hmm.
because I was cosplaying Akainu and everyone hated me
Mm-hmm.
for it because he puts a hole.
Perfect.
It's like, who's this?
It's a whole
This is my friend Ace. They're like, oh, I hate this, Ryan. I hate you. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Hate me all you want. I don't care.
good. I mean, I'm the one who brings up fucking Show Tucker at Daddy Panel just to make people yell at me.
Actually,
Granted, his appearance is just him up like on screen, and then it says no, and he slowly fades out of existence. Yeah, because when I'm not running cos games, I do the degeneracy that is known as the Daddy Panel.
yeah, actually, you
Because
mentioned that. I'd like to know more. I've known you've done that, and it actually, now that you mentioned it, came to my attention. What's going on with that? What is that?
so Daddy Panel has a bit of an interesting history, but its current iteration starts off with a presentation that I work very hard on, and it basically features daddies, through mostly anime and video games, but I do have a couple other sources in there, and it explains what an anime daddy is, what we get into some examples of some characters who are and some who aren't. If you notice, there's a lot of McKenna characters and the aren't. There's a reason for that. Um, and that's usually a bunch of fun. People love seeing their characters, and every once in a while I'll open it up to being like, who do you think fits into this category of character? And people shout up, suggestions. But the big ticket thing that most people come for is at the end. It is when we form a line down the room with volunteers, and basically they come up to the front and they get judged on their level of daddy energy.
Oh, that's fun. I thought y'all were gonna come up there and be like, all right, guys, this is who I think. And everyone's gonna be like, yeah, or boo. What's wrong with you?
That is actually a part I am considering doing in the future, simply because this panel is popular enough. Cons keep giving me an hour and a half.
Oh, wow. Okay,
rather than an hour. Yeah, like it's great. It's just I'm like, I keep running out of content about the hour mark. So I'm like, I'm thinking about calling it Daddy Debate.
Yeah.
Where, I will open the floor up to one person to try and convince me or just the panel at large.
Oh, that's a good idea.
If a character is or is not daddy, whichever they feel like arguing.
You give them like all right, you got like 20 seconds. State your
Basically.
case, and then blah 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 blah, and then like you or I don't know if you have any other panelists be like, all right, I'm gonna give another 20 seconds and let them say why not.
Yeah, it's been typically it's me and my besties, so I've got Abel and Peyton with me.
Nice.
Unfortunately, Peyton was not available for the last one. She was busy performing her boots off at the masquerade. She did a live singing bit. She did great from what I'm told. I unfortunately was not able to make it because I was doing Daddy Panel. But
hey, obligations,
Them's the breaks, yeah. I can't call and demand the con cater specifically to my schedule.
Yeah, of course. Nobody can, right?
Which was rough because Ken was also running their D&D Smash and Pass, and it was overlapped with Daddy Panel.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was at D&D Smash and Pass, actually. I was there for that one. Yeah. I gotta check out your Daddy Panel. I wasn't sure. I think Blondie Sunday and Ashtray went to the PortCon one, I believe.
I think so.
Yeah.
I do think I remember seeing them.
Yeah, that's because I remember me, what is it, Mad Noob, Kyle, and Drew. We kind of just hung back at the room just to relax and just kind of have a few libations and whatnot.
I feel I'm gonna have a couple libations this evening.
Hell yeah!
It's, this time of year is rough for a lot of people with chronic illnesses, and alcohol is one of the few things that 100% just cuts through my pain levels. So. It's nice. Just gotta be, smart about it.
Yeah, of course. It's always in moderation, I imagine, helping yourself out.
Oh yeah.
Like that. Especially like I know with the cold weather and things, just as you were mentioning before.
Especially this year with the back and forth. Like it can't. Like it started to get cold. Now it's hot again.
Yep.
Like.
Like
I
mine,
want to wear my nice long sleeve shirts.
I
Like,
don't
come on.
I don't blame it. Like mine's not as like, like my biggest thing is like nothing really crazy, but like say with like certain things like my eczema is just like all over the place right now because it's just like, oh, you're wearing a long
Mm-hmm.
sleeve. Yeah, you shouldn't have done that. I'm like, oh, why? It's just like, ah, oh,
Yep.
it's hot now. I'm like, yeah, it's hot. My neck hurts. Oh, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
No, but I
Yep.
imagine someone
It's
like,
rough.
yeah, I imagine someone with yourself with like circulatory issues, like you said, like especially with like alcohol, sometimes having blood thinning elements help you move your body along so it doesn't get swollen as much. Like I'm not saying
Yep.
mine's relatively just skin stuff, but like yeah, like when it comes to people like
Oh,
that.
I've actually got a little bit of skin stuff myself. I've got
Mm.
scalp psoriasis, but the very warm light is making it hard to see, I think. But certainly not complaining.
Fair enough.
Oh, it's like I've always had dandruff. This is new, and I don't like it.
No. During COVID, I think it was I stopped. Like my biggest thing was like because
Mm-hmm.
I had stopped working out. Like my eczema, yeah, moved to my scalp and it took over
Mm.
all of it. And I'm like, what is happening? And then like the second
Mm.
I'd scratch my head, just like snowing, and I'm like, oh my god, this
Oh,
sucks.
yep.
But
Felt.
definitely, I had to deal with that for about like I think it was like a year, and I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
dude, what is happening? I had like getting
Mm-hmm.
special like lotion, like medications, like I just do all this bad boy
I've
stuff.
actually been using for my tattoo kit, Aquaphor.
Yep, Aquaphor is based. Love that stuff.
Yep.
Shouts out to
Although,
that.
speaking of, I need more tattoos. I've only got the one.
Oh yeah, what do you have? If you don't mind me
Yeah, I've
asking.
just got a little crown right here.
Oh, cute.
Multi-purpose. One because I have Ehlers-Danlos. My skin is thinner than usual, so we weren't sure entirely how well my skin would react to tattooing. And the other thing is that is actually modeled after Yato's crown from his tracksuit from Noragami. He's got a little crown that right here on his little jumpsuit.
That's the one with the dude with the. What is it? I think I've seen that before. I've never watched it, but I'm aware of it.
It's a good one. And I think it's actually coming back.
It was like it's like a
But
it's like the guy's like a god or something. And he like falls down.
yes,
And he's like becomes poor or
he's a
something like
stray
that.
god.
Yeah, he has like the scarf,
Basically.
right? No, not the scarf. Yeah, okay, the tracksuit.
His
Yeah.
fluffy scarf.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, he's got the little crown, and I would like to eventually expand that out into more of just an origami tattoo.
Cool.
So that's why I went with the crown, because it was small, just lines, and I'm like, I can expand on that later. But then I kind of got sicker than I was and wasn't able to work, and now I don't really have tattoo money.
Yeah, of
but
course.
one of these days.
Yeah, one of these days, just keep grinding it out, keep doing what you're doing. Figure something out.
Abel and I are discussing. Abel and I are throwing ideas about getting matching tattoos, which would be a lot of fun.
Oh, that'd be sick.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up. Yeah, I've been planning to get more tattoos. Just that's kind of the same thing with me. It was just like, I gotta pay for things. I really don't want to. It's like, do I need one right now? There's one I want to get.
Exactly.
That I'm just like once I reach a certain like things I'm doing when it comes to like my physical activity. Like if I reach one of my goals, I'm like, that's what I want to get. Other than that, right now I'm just like, I got nothing. I'm just like, I can't. It's like, oh, I want a cool skull. Like I don't have any ideas.
One tattoo I've wanted for ages, but it's gonna be a big one, so it's gonna be expensive. I played a particular tiefling in a D&D campaign for a year and a half, and she came to mean a lot to me. Nice. So I really want specifically a vintage pinup style piece of her.
Oh,
and I want to
sick.
have it. I want to have that on my thigh.
Nice.
So nice big piece of just purple tiefling ass.
That's awesome though. The fucking 50s classic pinup style. That'd be amazing.
Oh yeah.
You need to commission an artist to get you something like that.
Yeah, I definitely am gonna need to commission it. Like I've got the image very clearly in my mind. It's just I can't draw the way I used to.
Yeah.
So it'll just be better to get someone else to do it.
Of course, yeah. It's funny. I just started commissioning art recently because I gave it a shot. Like I said, the ones in the background, the first two like pieces of art I've ever commissioned. Because I was part of
awesome.
I was part of a Disco Elysium group, and someone's like, "Yo, like, really, I just want to do some. Can someone?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. Your art looks great. Let me do it." So I got one of me and Blondie Sunday, and I was really happy about that. I'm waiting for another one because an artist, they came back from a con and like I think their house something like got flooded or something like that, and it was an artist that I'm just this artist is so good. And they're like, "Yeah, like commission this." I'm like, hey, what's up? Here's some money. Just do this cosplay of me. Fantastic. So I'm waiting on
Yeah,
for that
I've
one.
gotten very nice. I've gotten one piece commissioned before, actually two. One was a Pokemon trainer commission of myself.
Oh, cool.
It was cool, except the fact that it took legitimately 5 years to receive
Oh.
from the artist.
Oh, okay.
And not only did it take a really long time to receive, despite having a photo of me as reference, they got my eye color wrong.
Oh.
Yeah, they gave me blue eyes, which no, my eyes are very much brown. Hi, Baymax. You would like to join us?
Within those 5 years, they probably forgot.
You could be there.
Oh, there he
Just in the
is.
corner of the. Yeah, he's on one of his scratchers.
Oh, cutie. Oh, there he goes.
Mhm.
Wow, 5 years. That's wild.
The other one, it did take a bit longer than we expected, but it wasn't anywhere near that one. This one was actually art of a different D&D character of mine.
Mhm.
This one was Nira. And like I had very specifically searched for a artist to draw Nira that could do creepy and beautiful.
Mhm.
And I found actually this artist at a con. I don't think they table much anymore because I haven't seen them in a while. But they did this stipple art of like undersea eldritch stuff, and I'm like, you.
Nice. Hell yeah.
So the reason I wanted creepy is because Nira, she's not just a mermaid, she's a siren. And so I very much wanted to lean on the man-eating predator,
Yeah.
scary aspects of it. So I'm like, I need someone who can make something look beautiful but also look like it's about to eat you.
Nice. That's
And
what's up.
she's
That's
like,
cool.
I like it.
It's funny because
Oh
you
yeah,
described that, and I'm like, I know exactly what type of art you're talking about. Where it's like, that's scary, but also, wow,
Mhm.
how you
Mhm.
doing?
Yep, that's Nier in a nutshell. One of my favorite. She was super fun to play. She was the only chaotic evil character I've played.
Mhm.
Um, but the kicker was she wasn't like malicious.
Mhm.
She was just completely self-absorbed. Like she did not care about anyone other than herself.
Right.
Um, and the fun part was, I think, it's all very heavily homebrewed. Um, and her class was something called Yandere Healer,
Oh, Jesus
which
Christ.
basically you're a healer, but you're a yandere, and so whichever your obsession is, you would get bonuses when fighting near them or when healing them and all of these things. And the DM basically said, "Okay, your class is a little too strong. I'm gonna make it." He nerfed me a little bit by
Yeah.
making my obsession not a party member, but yeah, no, Nira still absolutely wrecked face despite being the party healer.
That's
It's pretty
awesome.
great.
I love that. Love to hear that.
Because her race, she was a lionfish siren, and so the DM and I worked back and forth on that. So she had, um, she basically if she succeeded a grapple check on someone,
Yeah.
she would do damage, and it
Oh.
would continue to make it. Um, So I was literally just this giant spiky fish
Yeah, I was gonna
lady
say you're just like.
throwing herself at people, clawing, scratching, biting, doing all this damage while her spines are digging into
Yeah.
them and poisoning them, and it's just like, that's a healer. What are these guys gonna do?
Healer's just running
It
in,
was a
hugging
weird
people
party.
out there, hugging people. Y'all better watch out.
Hugging people to death.
It's like a freaking Dark Souls. There's one when you roll and you freaking just hit people because it's all you're
Yep,
wearing a spiky suit.
exactly.
To trail back to one of the things is we got in a tangent, but is to answer one of my other questions is
Hmm.
your comfy cosplay. What is one of your favorite
Yeah.
comfy cosplays?
Yeah. Comfy cosplay right now. That's definitely Futaba Sakura from Persona 5. That is the newest cosplay I have purchased,
Mm-hmm.
and I will just say the quality of pre-made cosplays has gone up
Yes.
in the recent
Yes,
years,
it has
definitely.
actually.
Because Futaba has these like, um, they look like leather shorts, and so of course when a cosmaker is gonna look at that, they're gonna make it pleather.
Yeah.
Um, and I was expecting that to just feel terrible on,
Yeah.
but once I actually got, like, it was not pleather, it was, like, I think it was actually, like, more of a polyester blend,
Yeah.
and that was so much more comfortable, and I can actually just, chill in my Futaba cosplay for quite some time. The only thing that starts to get old on that is the wig, because it's so long, and I really need to, give it a untangle treatment.
Yeah.
Um, and then the coat, because like the coat is part of the cosplay, but I very much want to take it off, which means I come this close to forgetting it places multiple times
Oh, that's
now.
the worst. When you have like a
Yeah,
small session, he goes, "Wait a minute." Oh, there it is. Oh, thank God.
yeah, I do that all the time. ADHD.
It happens. But
Mm-hmm.
I think we're gonna round off with one more question, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Um, so speaking about cosplays,
Mm-hmm.
of course, I have to go with one of my favorite, more funnier ones. Is what is one of your worst cosplays experiences?
My worst was probably my first time cosplaying ever. I was a
I love it when people tell me that. It's
I was a teeny bopper, probably all of 15,
okay.
and I went to actually an AAC because AAC was, still a thing back then. Um, and I was cosplaying Rin Kagamine specifically from her Meltdown video.
I'm not sure what that. Who's that?
Rin Kagamine is one of the yellow Vocaloids.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I was cosplaying from her song Meltdown. Which, if you haven't checked out Meltdown, trigger warning, it's just about suicide. It doesn't really depict it, but it's about suicide. Anyways, I was wearing the dress, and at the time, I had shoulder length bob hair, so I'm like, oh, I don't need a wig. I'll just use my own hair. And then as I'm going around the cosplay, and like I didn't have the socks or the boots, or people just kept complimenting my Meltdown dress, not my cosplay. So I very quickly felt I learned the distinction between cosplaying and putting a cosplay on your body, if that makes sense.
No,
Because at that
I
point
know
in
what you
time,
mean. I know exactly what you mean, though.
yeah, at that point in time, I just had a cosplay on, and it wasn't like there wasn't much effort put into it, and I think that effort is the distinction. But the kicker was, I've never been a super feminine person, and I didn't really wear dresses growing up, so
Yeah.
I didn't know proper undergarments for when wearing dresses.
Oh.
So I had the friend, who I went to the con with, who elected to not inform me until after the convention
Oh, Jesus.
that the entire time I was in that dress, you could see the outline of my underwear.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Yeah, she thought it was funny.
Oh, Jesus.
But yeah, so it was great in the moment, other than, me learning the difference between cosplaying and just wearing a cosplay.
Yeah.
And then, getting that thrown in my face on the drive home, like, oh, by the way, he. And I'm like,
It's like, you
you
motherfucker.
you knew?
You motherfucker.
Yeah, that friendship didn't last much
Yeah, I
longer.
was to say, like, hopefully y'all ain't friends with them, because goddamn.
Oh no, that blew up magnificently like a year or two after.
Oh, Jesus fuck. It's funny that you say that.
Yeah.
It's a good way of putting it, like cosplaying and putting a cosplayer, because I've been there with it's same exact thing. I don't need to wear a wig. Let me just throw this on. People will know what's going on, and I'm like,
Yeah, like
yeah,
it's completely valid if people want to put in that level of, I'll say even non-effort, but like that's gonna shift how people are perceiving it.
Yeah.
And like that's basically just how I learned. I learned I don't want to be perceived as someone who just has a cosplay on. I want to be perceived as a cosplayer.
Yeah, no, that's a good way of putting it, because I know exactly what you mean, because it's one of those things like a friend of mine, he was cosplaying and he had like a great cosplay. He just didn't want to wear the wig, and I'm like, dude, you got everything. Just do that, and then it'll really sell. And he's just like, yeah, it's fine.
Wigs tie it together so much, I've learned.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons I'm really wanting to learn a new technique for wig making.
Yeah.
Like that technique where they make basically like a helmet out of the wig.
Yes.
Like, I really want to learn how to do that.
Nice. It's funny because I was like, I think when I really started doing wigs, this is like instead of using my actual hair, because I'm like, I'll like
Mm-hmm.
do it, and I'm like, this kind of works. But then like I think I
Mm-hmm.
did Yuri from Yuri on Ice, and I did him as what is it when he's on ice?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like it makes sense. So I wore black gloves. I wore the black glove.
Mm-hmm.
But then I had the hair with like the thing up front, and I'm like, wow, I look.
Oh yeah.
This works because I couldn't. They didn't sell the jacket at the time, so I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, this is cool. It's like this really comes together. This is fantastic. And I had the perfect glasses, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I need to actually. I think I need to step my game up
Yep.
because it's just I can't just fix my hair and say everything's okay.
I feel that.
Yeah. But thank you for joining me, Hayden,
Mm-hmm.
on this
Totally.
podcast, sharing all your stories and everything about that.
Mm-hmm.
That's really fucking great. Where can people find y'all?
I'm not super active online anymore. I did have a TikTok that is still under Misbehayden. I hit 11,000 on there. That was pretty cool.
Nice.
But other like, you can follow me there if you want to see the random shit I repost, I guess. But
Yeah. No, that's fair.
um if I ever do return to content making regularly, I'll probably post there though.
Oh, hell yeah. I'll make sure I put that on there. And of course, they can find
Mhm.
y'all most of the conventions around the Southern New England area, and well,
Yes.
including Maine. So it would be Southern New England, I guess. New England area, we'll just say. Hell
Oh yeah,
yeah.
good old New England.
So yeah, I guess we can really say is if y'all ever seen a Who Done It, check it out on a thing. If there's a Daddy panel hosted by Misbehayden, check that out as well because I think I might go to the next one. So because now I know a little bit more what's up. Thank you for
Please do.
joining.
It's a
Thank you.
great time.
Hell yeah. Thank you for joining me. And y'all have a good night.
Good night.